So we are going to talk about pain. Pain is a very common problem that most of us have at one point or another. And I've created this little session on the strip with the idea that a lot of pain comes in the body because our pumps stop working, okay? So the spine is a pump, and in our spine, it must move from the sacrum, the occiput down to the sacrum, and both of those areas need to be flowing and moving. Most of us are stuck in them, and we hold them very tight and still, and that can come from stress. Physical, mental, emotional stress creates the stop of our body, the stop of the pump, the stop of the flow. So this session's really about just getting that flow back in the body. So if you're really sore, even if you're not really sore, always go slower and softer than you want to. And if something is too sore to do it, don't do it. The one thing with fascia is most of us want to try and kill it. And fascia, the softer you are with it and the more gentle you play with it, the more it actually releases and softens. So be aware, listen to your body. I'm going to take you through the session, but if you think something is too sore for you, well then don't do it. Go back and do something softer. We're going to stand, and you're going to lift your toes up. And you're going to close your eyes. And you're going to stay there for a moment. And then you're going to let your toes go down with your eyes still closed. And just see if your body leans forward, okay? And if it does, this means that your center of gravity is up in your head. It's actually a really interesting way to see where your center of gravity is. Now, go down onto the floor, go gently, and sit down and put your hands underneath your knees. And I want you all to look up and see how that feels in your body. See how far you can look up and notice that position. Now turn your head to the right. See where you can see to turn your head to the left, and see where you can see to, and see what those feel like in your body. Now go down and lie on your backs. You want your feet a little bit wider than your hips, and your arms out to the sides, palms up. And this is your sensing position, okay? We'll always go back to the sensing position. It's nice to feel where you are. And I want you to notice the space now between your head and your shoulders. So sense the space. How much space do you have between your neck and your shoulders? Now notice the difference in the length in your arms. Do you have one arm that's shorter than the other? Now notice the difference in your legs. Do you have a leg that's shorter than the other? And if you can, take your hand and slide it underneath your lower back and just see how high your lower back is off the ground. Now slowly rotate your head to the right and rotate your head to the left. And do that, and again, get a sense of how easily that moves and where it feels tight in your body. And now bring your knees up, bend them, and now let your knees go to the left and look right, and let your knees go to the right and look left, and fall back and forth. And again, this is just to get a sense of how is my body moving, where am I tight, where am I stiff. Now take your strip and put the strip underneath your spine, from your tailbone up to the back of your head, and keep your knees bent. And I first want you to think about drawing your breath up your body, drawing it from below your feet. So breathe up from your feet, and then relax from above your head and relax down your back. Okay? And do that a couple of times. Breathe up from your feet. When you breathe the breath up from your feet, it helps you use your diaphragm. Okay? When you bring the breath into your mouth, into your chest, that uses your chest muscles. So bring it from below you. It's a lovely way of, it's one of the best ways I've heard of bringing the breath into the body. Now you want to engage the pelvis a little bit more. As you inhale, you want to arch your back. So your back is literally coming up off the strip, and your tailbone's pushing into the strip. Then exhale, your belly button flattens into your spine, your lower back flattens and rounds into the strip, and the pelvis comes up. And you want to keep floating back and forth in that, breathing in, expanding into the belly button, and then relax your chin down, relax your eyes, and exhale round the body and squash into the strip. And this is really trying to get you to realize that our bones should or could actually float inside of our body. When I'm doing this, you want to get softer and softer with each breath. I always try and imagine that you're a jellyfish and you have no defined edges. And as you're floating, you're getting softer and softer and quieter and quieter. And the breath, generally, you want to try and get about a 5-second inhale and a 5-second exhale. And just really float through this and enjoy the movement of your spine on the strip. Now stop and relax and just roll slowly off the strip and take it out from underneath you. And now lie flat. And feel how you sink in. It's actually the most divine feeling. Every time I take the strip away, it just still amazes me. You've breathed, you've connected, and you've energized your spine just with that quick little motion. So now take the strip and you want to put it up behind your neck. Okay, and now it's going to be in, you're going to double it up and you're going to fold it and put it into the curve of your neck. And this can be sore and tender. If it's too sore to have it here, move it up to the back of your head. Okay, but if you can manage it on your neck, keep it there. And I just want you to take a few breaths in. As you inhale, you can point your toes away from you just to add a little bit more action to it. And as you exhale, flex your feet up. And so inhale softly away, point your toes away. Feel the expansion of your body, let the tailbone push into the ground and arch your back up again. And as you exhale, flex the feet up. And it's a lovely feeling. And as you point, notice how you can feel the strip pushing into your neck. Your chin should actually soften down a little bit. Yeah, this is just starting to get that neck moving. Now relax for a moment and just slowly start to rotate your head side to side. Right now, this strip is pushing on the base of your skull, and this is where our nervous system exits. And it's where we hold a lot of tension. I always say the back of the head, we have so much green gunge going on up in there. This is where our nervous system is flowing out of our brain into our entire body, but it's also where our blood supply is flowing up into our brain, that's supplying our brain with nutrition. So it's a great area to try and get that green gunge out of there. Now rotate your head to the left. And I want you to take your left hand and put it on your head. And before you start to shake your head no, I want you to soften your eyes down and relax your neck. And what that does is that helps create space in the neck where you're, for the nervous system. And now slowly start shaking your head back and forth. And imagine you're squashing all that green gunge out of that neck area. It can be tender, just go slowly. And if it's too sore, just go back to being in the center. Now stop for a moment, go back to the middle, and sense the difference between the sides of your body. Notice the length in the left side. Even move your fingertips and move your toes. And then move them on the other side and feel how much length and space you've created in the one. I always say that's the energized side of your body now. That's where the space has been created. The other side should feel tight and stiff. And it actually feels horrible. I always say it feels like biltong, and if you're a South African, you'll understand that. Now roll your head to the right, and now do the same thing on the right. First, relax your eyes down. Relax your chin down, soften your neck muscles. And now just softly start rotating your head back and forth. Again, just imagine that you're pumping away that green gunge out of the back of your neck. Now come back to the middle, roll your head slowly back and forth, just to balance it out. And then take the strip and move it up to the base of your skull now. So now you're on the occiput. And now you want to relax your chin down and really soften your eyes. Let your eyes sink back into the skull and let them sink back into that strip. And now you're going to gently start rotating your head side to side, okay? And this is, in the back of our head is where we hold some of the most tension. Just imagine you're massaging that fascia out of there. Our brain has 6 to 7 layers of fascia around it, and it is where we hold some of our most tension in our body. And this is a crucial part of the pump. So just softly enjoy rolling, going back and forth over that. Now again, just like we did in the neck, let your head go to the side. Go to the right this time. And now squash your head over to the right. Soften your eyes down. Relax that neck again. Create that space before you start squishing. And now softly start to squish that back right part of your head again. And I always imagine that our brain also gets green and gungy. And while I'm doing the back of the head, I almost imagine I can feel my brain starting to move and flow and get all the gunge that's sitting around it out of there. Now stop again, come back to the center, and again feel the length that you've created on the one side of your body. And it feels amazing, and the length goes all the way down to your toes. And that's because the messages, what you've done is you've created space around the nervous system that's exiting here, and those nerves go all the way down to your toes. So also to all your organs in between, it's lovely. Now turn your head to the left and do the same thing. Take your left hand, squash it over, soften your chin down, and relax, go back and forth. Again, squishing softly, ever so softly, all the green gunge at the back of your head. Now come back to the middle, roll just to balance it out and get everything balanced. Take the strip out from underneath your head. And again, now feel how much space you have between your head and your shoulders. You should actually feel like you have a neck now. Roll your head softly to the right, roll your head softly to the left. You can even pull your knees up at this point if you want to and roll them back and forth. And just feel how, without even doing anything in the rest of our body, the space that you've created all the way down through it. And now we're going to go down to the tailbone or the sacrum. So take your strip and double it up. And now this is quite important. You really want to put the strip underneath your bum, okay? So it's not high up on the sacrum, it's low. It's almost where your hamstrings come up and attach to where you sit. So it's that low. When you line it, your bum should actually tilt up. So your lower back should be sinking into the floor. If your lower back's coming off the floor, it's too high. Once you're on there, just relax. And again, just take a few breaths, okay? You can inhale, let your back arch, so your tailbone kind of pushes up onto the strip. Your hips almost roll up onto that strip. Then exhale, let your belly button go into the floor, let your bum come up and squash your lower back into the floor. And again, this is just reminding you that your pelvis can float inside that skin. It's a lovely, lovely feeling, and the strip just helps to bring awareness to the fascia of your bum. Think about your right foot, and I want you to slowly start moving your right foot around in a circle. And just enjoy the movement of your right foot. Slow it down. Imagine you're going in slow motion. You actually almost have to imagine you're in a slow motion movie, because most people want to go too fast. And now as you're rotating your foot around, I want you to start to feel the muscles. As you come up the inside or come up the outside, I want you to notice the muscles of your hip and of your torso that you're actually using to move that foot around. That's really what you want to be focusing on here, is what's happening in your upper body as you move that foot around. Now pause and go the other way. Rotate your foot around the other way. And just soften your body, relax your eyes, relax your neck, just like the movement comes from your foot and comes from your back. And notice what's happening. Now stop that. Now this is a lovely one. Now I want you to inhale and point your toe away from you. But as you inhale, I want you to make sure you arching that back. So arch that right hip up onto the strip. And as that happens, you'll feel your ribs expand, and I want you to gently push your right shoulder into the floor. Now before you exhale, relax your eyes, relax your chin down, and exhale, squash it down. Exhale. And flex your foot up. And inhale, point away. And as you point away, enjoy the expansion of that right hip. Push your breath down into that right hip. Feel the right ribs opening and push that right shoulder back into the floor. And then relax your eyes, relax your chin down, and exhale, squash it. This is one of my favorite ones. This is just such a nice one because it brings so much awareness into that right side of your body. You're connecting yourself all the way from your foot, all the way up the body. This is really affecting our deep fascial line, which our hip flexors are part of that. Exhale and squash. And now just stop for a moment and sense the difference between the right side of your body and the left side of your body. And just feel how amazing that right side feels. Even roll your head to the right And roll your head to the left and feel how your left side is much harder. And all that space and length you've created down the right side. Again, this side is energized. Okay. Now we need to go to our left side. Our poor left side feels horrible. So go to that left side. Start slowly rotating your left ankle around. Again, slow yourself down. One of the things you're trying to do here is connect the brain to your foot. Most of us don't think about our feet, and some people will find you'll have one foot that's more stupid than the other. It is often the left one, I find, more than the right one. And when it's jerky, if it doesn't go smoothly, just slow it down even more and just try and get a nice smooth circle going. Now pause and stop and go the other way. And again, as you're rotating that foot around, really feel what's happening in the left hip. Feel what's happening in your ribs. You might even notice your shoulder. You might notice some movement in the shoulder or the neck. And just really enjoy the movement of that foot. It's lovely to get connected to the body. Now stop, and we're going to do the breathing. So now inhale and point your foot away from you. And again, arching that back up, pushing your breath into the left hip. Feel the expansion of your ribs. Push the left shoulder into the ground. And now relax and softly come down and flex your foot up and squash that hip and that shoulder into the ground and your belly button into the spine. And relax and inhale, point the foot away. Breathe into that left hip, feel the expansion. Now soften your chin, relax your body, and exhale, flex the foot and squish. And let's do one more. Inhale, breathe away. Enjoy the expansion, and now soften, exhale, and now flex and squish. And now do both together. Point both toes away from you, inhale. And this is a wonderful way you're expanding the whole front of the body. Feel the breath expand, let your shoulders roll open. Then you want to let everything soften. Let your shoulders soften, let your hips soften, and now squash your back into the ground. And inhale, point your toes away. And then relax, exhale, flex your feet up and squish. And just now try and soften your body. Put as little effort as you can into it. Be the jellyfish, be as soft and flowy as you can. And relax and let it go and exhale. And now stop and take the strip out from under your bum. And again, enjoy the space. You have now breathed, connected, and energized the lower half of your body. And enjoy that. It's so nice to sit in that space for a moment. It's just a lovely, lovely feeling. Now take the strip and put it, you kind of want to be, for a woman, it's at the bra strap. So it's a little bit underneath the shoulder blades, a little bit lower. And now you're going to put your hands out to the sides. You're going to bend your knees. And now you're just gently going to rotate your legs side to side, okay? What this is doing is it's reminding your body that it needs to pivot from the center. Most of us will get stuck on one side, and then we end up creating and moving our bodies in that way. So this is really important as you get older, is to keep that movement and that flow going in the center. Now you're going to kind of, in that position, you're going to wiggle down a little bit and have the strip be a little bit higher on your shoulders. And you're going to carry on. You're kind of in the upper back now. And this is often, this part of our back is where we hold the weights of our head when we're sitting at a desk. So while you're going back and forth over that, you're just softening and loosening up the fascia in that upper back. It's a really lovely, lovely area to work with. Now reach up and take the strip out from underneath you. You can stop for a moment and sense that. It's also a lovely feeling. And you could possibly finish here if you would like to. So when you're done with the session, you want to gently roll your head right and left again and notice the difference between your body now and earlier. Bring your knees up, roll them right and left again, and notice how your torso is much, much looser and freer. And now come back up to your sitting position, and I want you all to look up and see how much freer that is. See how you can look back farther. Turn to your right. See how you can look over your shoulder better. Turn to your left. Now stand back up. And you're going to go back to your feet wider than your hips. And close your eyes and lift your toes up. And just stay there for a moment. And now drop your toes down. And just notice it should be different. You might actually fall backwards. You might not go forward. If you still go forward, you're just still stuck somewhere in your body. And you need a little bit more work to get that center of gravity down. Some of us have lived with our center of gravities in our heads for years. And you've never even been down and know what it feels like to be down. So it might take a while. So be gentle with yourselves, go slowly. Oh yes, and a very important part is drink water. Our fascia feeds on water. It also feeds on vitamin C, so you can up your vitamin C levels when you are doing these routines. But definitely drink a lot of water. You should even notice now that you'll be thirsty.